It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
If you're actually going to go to this restaurant, okay, and you're going to go in there, you're going there to be seen.
If you had a net worth of $70 million, there's no way for you to get kicked out of hotels like an ex at a wedding.
You ever watch someone blow up for doing almost nothing, ride that hype all the way to the penthouse, then fall so loud it echoes everywhere? We're talking about a guy who turned a flashy salt drop into worldwide fame, flipped that moment into a high-dollar restaurant empire, then completely dropped the ball at every turn. Yeah, that's the Salt Bae story in a nutshell, and honestly, seeing his whole setup fall apart in real time was wilder than anything he ever put on a plate. One viral move with a sprinkle, and suddenly he's everywhere, acting untouchable until the cracks started showing fast.
The best? No. Would I recommend it? No.
The food got clowned for being wildly overpriced. Celebs started losing patience, cameras caught awkward moments, and next thing you know, doors were shutting left and right. Add in public drama and getting himself iced out of major events, and the image went from luxury king to cautionary tale real quick. Because let's be real, nobody's lining up to drop $1,000 on a steak that tastes like it came from someone who picked up cooking tips online last weekend. So yeah, we're diving straight into this mess because this isn't just a fall from fame, it's a loud lesson on how ego can wreck the whole bag. And if you somehow missed the peak Salt Bae era, don't worry, I've got you covered right now. This whole circus really kicked off back in January 2017. A Turkish butcher named Nusret, working at his spot, posted a short clip of himself slicing meat and tossing salt like it was some kind of ritual. You already know the look. Sunglasses inside, tight white tee, hair slicked back, and that wild elbow flick where the salt dripped down his arm like he was putting a spell on the steak instead of seasoning it. That video didn't just blow up, it went straight nuclear. Tens of millions of views flooded in across every platform. Celebrities reposted it, people copied the move at parties, restaurants, weddings, everywhere. The meme was unavoidable. And this guy who'd been working as a butcher since he was about 13 years old suddenly became one of the most recognizable faces on the entire internet. Now, to be fair, credit where it's due, he saw the moment and grabbed it fast. He already had a small steakhouse in Istanbul, but once the fame hit, he expanded at reckless speed. Dubai, Miami, New York, London, non-stop. If a city had deep pockets and flashy lifestyles, Salt Bae was planting his flag and charging premium prices like nothing could go wrong. Celebrities started swarming his restaurants like it was the hottest club in town. Leonardo DiCaprio, DJ Khaled, David Beckham, non-stop big names pulling up for the full Salt Bae experience. And Nusret was clearly loving every second of it, snapping pics with anyone famous who walked through the door, moving like he was right on their level and untouchable. But this is where things started sliding fast, because once the hype cooled and people actually focused on the food, the reviews turned savage. Folks weren't impressed anymore, they were annoyed. We're talking restaurants charging up to $1,500 for gold-wrapped steak that people said tasted like something you'd grab from a bargain shelf at the grocery store. The shine wore off quick, and the complaints got louder by the day. Food critics weren't holding back at all, they went straight for the jugular. One reviewer flat out said the steak was rubbery and flavorless, while another didn't hesitate to call it overcooked and underwhelming. That's when people really started waking up, realizing they were paying top-tier Wagyu prices for food that felt mid at best. So yeah, folks were basically dropping luxury money for something that tasted closer to a casual chain spot, just dressed up with gold leaf to fake the value. And that gold wasn't flavor, it was just cover. The prices weren't just high, they felt disrespectful. $135 for a burger, $15 for a Coke, and brace yourself, a single meal hitting $37,000. And yes, that actually happened. A bill at his London restaurant rang up to £37,000, and Salt Bae proudly posted it online like it was a flex. But the internet wasn't cheering, not even close. People slammed him for being tone-deaf and out of touch. Comment sections blew up with users asking how anyone could brag about charging enough money to feed a small village, while regular people were struggling just to cover rent and bills. But here's the thing, Salt Bae didn't slow down at all. He kept posting receipts, kept flexing outrageous bills, kept acting like he was reinventing fine dining, and then, in reality, he was just charging rich customers wild money for food people kept calling average at best. And just when the food drama couldn't get worse, the employee stories started dropping, and yeah, they were ugly. Former staff began speaking up, sharing allegations about unpaid wages, unfair treatment, and a work environment that sounded straight up miserable. One bartender claimed Salt Bae had a full-on god complex and treated workers like they were replaceable props. Another said tips were allegedly taken away and people got fired over the smallest things. These weren't just rumors either. Lawsuits started stacking up fast. Back in 2019, a group of waiters sued him, accusing him of pocketing their tips, and that case ended with a $230,000 settlement. Then in 2020, another wage dispute popped up, this time costing around $300,000. At that point, it was clear this wasn't one unhappy employee talking, it was a repeated pattern showing how things allegedly ran behind the scenes. And while all of that already damaged his image badly, the moment that really blew up his reputation came on December 18th, and that's when everything changed fast. Fast forward to 2022, the FIFA World Cup final. Argentina had just pulled off one of the most dramatic wins in football history, and the players were on the field celebrating with their teammates and families, soaking in a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Pure emotion, pure chaos, pure history being made. Out of nowhere, Salt Bae showed up. Somehow he slipped past security, walked right onto the field and started inserting himself where he clearly didn't belong. Cameras caught him grabbing at players, chasing Lionel Messi for photos, and even putting his hands on the World Cup trophy like he was part of the squad. Messi looked visibly uncomfortable, trying to walk away, but Salt Bae just kept pushing and hovering. Those clips went mega viral within hours, and the backlash was immediate and ruthless. Football fans worldwide were furious. People couldn't believe a random restaurant owner would interrupt one of the most sacred moments in sports history just for clout. FIFA launched an investigation into how he even got access, and the fallout hit fast. Not long after, he was banned from attending the 2023 US Open Cup final. Reports started coming out that multiple sports organizations quietly blacklisted him from future events. Overnight, his image flipped from viral chef to desperate attention chaser who hijacked Argentina's celebration, and the memes, absolutely savage. People roasted him non-stop for being so thirsty for attention that he couldn't let the actual champions have their moment. And the craziest part? He didn't even give a real apology. Instead of owning it, he brushed everything off like people were just being dramatic, which only poured more gasoline on the fire. Once that door cracked open, the whole illusion started collapsing fast. That restaurant empire that once looked untouchable, it started crumbling in public. His UK business alone reported a £5 million loss. Profits at his London flagship dropped by nearly 50%. Then the US locations started falling one by one. New York, Boston, Dallas, Las Vegas, Beverly Hills, all shut down. In just a couple of years, he went from being everywhere to barely hanging on, scrambling to keep the last few spots alive. And even those had to slash prices hard just to get bodies inside. Menus that once cost hundreds suddenly dropped to $39 just to survive. And it got worse. Social media, the very thing that made him famous, turned into a disaster zone. Every post was buried under angry comments, people calling him a scam, a fraud, a washed-up act. His engagement fell off a cliff. The same guy who built his whole brand on going viral couldn't get people to care anymore. Then, just when it seemed like it couldn't get more awkward, June 2025 happened. He tried to crash a Champions League after-party without an invite, walked up like he belonged there, cameras rolling, celebrities watching. And security shut him down on the spot, turned away at the door like a random fan trying to sneak in backstage. Loud, public, and painfully embarrassing. After that mess, he tried to play it off like nothing happened. He stood outside signing autographs, moving like he chose to be there, like getting turned away was all part of the plan. But everyone saw it. Cameras caught everything. The same guy who once had athletes and celebrities lining up for photos was now being blocked from industry events like he didn't belong. So just like that, Salt Bae went from one of the most recognizable faces on the internet to a walking example of what happens when fame goes straight to your head. He had it all: the viral moment, the celebrity connections, the worldwide restaurant empire, and serious money. And he burned it down because he couldn't stop being unbearable. And here's the real lesson in all of this: you can't build something lasting on hype alone. Eventually, people want substance, they want quality, they want to feel like their money actually means something. When all you're offering is overpriced, forgettable food wrapped in gold leaf and social media theatrics, people are going to catch on fast. But Salt Bae thought he was untouchable. He believed the meme would last forever. He believed he could disrespect workers, charge outrageous prices, and force himself into moments that had nothing to do with him, and never face consequences. He really thought there would be zero consequences. But the same internet that boosted him up flipped on him just as fast. Now he's stuck with a few struggling restaurants, a wrecked reputation, and the reality that he fumbled one of the easiest wins in internet history. One viral moment handed to him on a silver platter, and he still managed to blow it. Because let's be honest, if he had stayed humble, focused on actually making great food, treated his staff with respect, and stopped moving like a desperate celebrity wannabe, he'd probably still be winning right now. People would still be packing his restaurants, the money would still be flowing, the hype would still be alive. But ego got in the way, and the fall was loud. So now the big question is this: did he deserve this downfall, or could he have saved it before everything collapsed? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I want to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more stories like this, share it with someone who remembers the Salt Bae era, and don't forget to comment below. I'll catch you in the next one.